What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Sergio Show. My name is Sergio, and today let's take a look at the 2019 Ford Fusion SEL EcoBoost. So this being my first ever car review, believe it or not, we're gonna go through everything there is to know about the Fusion, from the inside to the outside, everything you're getting when you're purchasing one of these, and all of its unique aspects throughout inside and of course the outside of the car. So without further ado, as one of my favorite YouTubers says, let's go ahead and hop on in, start her up, and let her run. The Ford Fusion is a four-door mid-size sedan able to seat up to 5 people. It made its debut for the 2006 model year, and since then has always been part of the Ford lineup. However, as part of Ford's plan to really focus on SUVs and trucks, the Fusion was discontinued earlier this year. However, it's set to be replaced by the Fusion Active starting in 2022, as reports are starting to state. As is the case with many modern cars, the Ford Fusion comes standard with keyless entry system. So all you gotta do is hold the key within you, or you can have it in your pocket and it should be ready to go. As we look inside the Fusion, you can see that the entire interior is wrapped in ebony. As I mentioned previously, it can seat up to 5 passengers. And in fact, the steering wheel is also wrapped in ebony. As I said previously, this car comes standard with keyless entry. So in order to start it up, all you gotta do is make sure that the key is within the interior of the car, put your foot on the brake, and hit the engine start stop button to go. And with the engine fired, let's take a look at the powertrain. First, we need to dive inside the hood, meaning you gotta pull this little lever down here. And the rest is done from in here. There's a little yellow hook down here which you wanna pull. It is a little sturdy, but after a while you should be able to get it. And here we see the engine. The engine we're looking at here is a 1.5 liter EcoBoost engine, an i4 to be exact. This engine is actually standard on the SEL and titanium models, but optional for all other Fusion models. If you're looking for an efficient car, this might be able to do it. It's got 23 miles per gallon on the city, 34 on the highway. This one in particular being an all-wheel drive, of course. Alright, with that said, let's dive inside. If you're trying to get the full power accessory active, just make sure that the key fob is within the inside of the car. Don't put your foot on the brake and just hit the engine start button. And your accessory is active. Looking at the dashboard, you have a double analog and digital dashboard available to you. However, that little digital part, you can actually switch it between display modes, including trips, fuel economy, driver assist, settings, just to name a few. On the right side, you have the compass by default, but you can also have your entertainment and your phone. In the middle of the center console, we find a touchscreen available to us, where you can control your climate, your phone, any apps available from your phone here, as well as settings. Personally, one of my favorite settings is the display setting, in which you can actually switch off the display, change the background, which is really just 4 different backgrounds, literally anything as long as it's blue, change your brightness, change your mode, whether you want day or night mode, and auto dim. A not so talked about feature of Fords in general is the door keypad, which you can adjust through the vehicle settings on the center console. So what do I mean with that? There's a keypad on the side of the door, of the driver's door especially, which appears invisible when you're driving and elsewhere, but when you tap it, it comes to life with these red lights. Other features on the inside of the car include your emergency lights, which are actually smack dab in between these air vents, as well as your volume, your tune, all your climate controls here as well, and a few charging ports. These USB ports are ideal for Apple CarPlay. This one would be used for charging. Of course, here you have your dial, your gear dial actually, and your parking brake engaged. Looking inside here, you have a pretty spacious center console. Yeah, really spacious. And interestingly enough, there's a second one hidden. It's a little tricky to get to, but there you go. It's actually hidden. So if you only want to hide your phone or something, all you gotta do is just flick this down. Looking at the back of the car, you actually have comfortable seating for 3 if you want to take your family here or your friends as well. And if you really just want a couple drinks, the second seat in the middle actually doubles as a cup holder when there's nobody sitting there. However, of course, when it's not a cup holder, it is a third seat. You have 3 seatbelt buckles, and 3 seatbelts to go with them. Of course. Here you have a couple more very small air vents and a small charging port down there. Interesting feature with the rear seats is that if no one is sitting there and you just don't have enough room for your groceries and the like, you can actually pull a little lever and it becomes some extra space for you and your groceries or whatever it is that you're carrying in the back. Just look for this little handle and pull it back. Onto the back of the car, a very spacious rear end, in fact, even without the rear seats down. But with the rear seats down, you have a massive amount of space. So you could literally carry everything and anything you need, minus bikes. Here, of course, is your emergency switch, just in case you plan to kidnap someone in your Fusion, which I really don't recommend by any means. But there it is, as required by state law. In the passenger area, you have a massive glove box here, which has about everything you need. Overall, the car is very spacious in terms of the rear, glove box, center console, armrest, among other areas. You have lots of room to work with in the Fusion. So how much will all of this cost you? Base pricing for the Fusion starts at $23,170. So what about this one I just reviewed? If you want a car like this or similar, the only real difference being a color palette for the exterior, that will set you back about $26,980. Now, interestingly enough, for Fusion, this car comes in 3 different trims, starting with the S, which starts at $23,170. If you want to go a step further, the SE should do it for you at $24,500. And if you want to go a step further than that, then the SEL should do it, but that would set you back about $28,000. And finally, for $34,550, you can get the king of the hill, the titanium trim of the Ford Fusion. Now, if you're looking for a hybrid, the Fusion Hybrid starts at $28,000 flat, and the plug-in hybrid starts at $35,000 flat. So you have a ton of different choices to choose from if you decide to get a Fusion for your car. Alright guys, well there you have it. That is my review of the Ford Fusion, this one in SEL. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like this car? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts of it? And also, this being my first car review, I'm open to some constructive feedback. Just leave them in the comments or hit me up, whatever you want to do. But in all consent, thank you so much for watching this. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video too. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Come on. You need to get out, boy.